We all will be starting with our chapter number 12, that is service costing. Now, contract costing and this particular chapter are basically two things, like, which have got no connection with each other. These are totally, in this particular case, two independent chapters. That has got nothing to do with your entire portion of costing. In fact, if you were in 10th standard also, I could have taught you this particular entire chapter. Okay. In this chapter, I'm mainly interested in all those particular companies who are into service sector. So, service sector in this particular case will mean, say, a company which is there in, say, transport sector which carries the goods. It could be, say, transport sector which carries the passengers. To give you a small example, you have companies which are there in the logistics business. You all know what do you mean by a logistics business? Logistics business means those companies which move the goods from one place to another, say like Blue Dart, like say DTDC, or courier companies up and so on. To give you the latest example, say VFast, okay, the name of which has been changed to Borzo now. So all these particular companies who are there in the service sector, we are interested in these particular companies. Okay. Now, whenever you talk of these companies, these are not manufacturing companies. Okay. These do not try to manufacture any goods. They try to be providing some services. And examples in today's world could be countless. It could be, say, banking company. It could be, say, an insurance company. It could be, in this particular case, say, a theaters. It could be, say, the coaching sector, which you are trying to look at right now. Okay. It could be transport sector which carries the goods, the logistics company. It could be, say, the transport sector which carries the passengers, like, in Mumbai we run the BST services, the best services, okay, the state transport buses. It could be that particular thing. It could be, say, hotels. It could be, say, hospitals. So any company which is basically there in the service sector, I'm interested in those particular companies. Okay. Now, what I'm interested in? Now, these days, do remember that for any country today, your service sector is becoming far bigger than the manufacturing sector. You can try to look into all the IT companies, what business that these companies are doing now. So, therefore, I say introduce a chapter basically for these kind of companies, but not a full-fledged kind of a chapter. Through this, you will not be able to know how they run or something. What is their business strategy? You will not be able to be knowing those particular things, but you will be able to know few of those particular things. Okay. Now, in this case, what I'm interested in. Now, see, if suppose like, I try to tell you all that, let's try to talk of, say, a coaching sector. If I try to talk of a coaching sector, then if I'm talking of coaching sector, I have two aims in this chapter. First, I want to be finding out cost per unit. That is my first particular aim. Okay, first particular aim. Second, in this particular case, I want to be finding out the selling price per unit. Okay, either cost per unit or profit per unit. Now, the difference between both of them, in this particular case will be that once you arrive at cost, to fix the selling price is very easy. You can add up. You tell me, what's the difference between selling price and cost called? Profit. So therefore, you can be adding up the profit per unit. In that particular case, you will arrive at the selling price. Usually, the question is going to be telling you all either try to find out cost per unit or try to find out the selling price per unit. Okay, so if you are asked to find out cost per unit, stop over here. If you are asked to find out the selling price, they'll give you the profit margin also. Kindly add that particular thing. Once you all do that, then the sum is all finished. But then how to be finding out cost per unit? It's very simple. Try to take total cost. And of course, if you want to be finding out cost per unit, divide by number of units, you will start to be arriving at cost per unit. So therefore, try to find out your total cost. Once you get your total cost, in that case, then divide by number of units, you will start to be arriving at cost per unit. One other thing also, total cost in this particular case, you can try to be thinking, sir, let's try to be dividing our total cost into two parts. Which particular two parts? First, some cost will be variable in nature, some particular cost will be fixed in nature. Okay, so therefore you can try to have these two categories of cost. If ever you try to be feeling, sir, instead of these two categories, what happens if some cost is not variable, some cost is not fixed? Okay, you can make a third category of your own, that is nothing but semi-variable cost. Okay, this is choice left upon you. What do you mean by variable cost? Any cost that changes with the number of units. Example, like you all can try to tell me, that'll be far better. You are taking classes from us right now. Tell me, what could be my variable cost that changes with every student? Something that gets incurred for every student. What could be that particular cost? Say the books cost, okay, the printing cost. So that could be our variable cost, okay. If I pay professors on per student basis, that will be a variable cost, okay. Then what would be our fixed cost? Fixed cost, you all can try to tell me. Fixed costs are very high here. It could be say rental cost. It could be say staff cost. In some cases, like, I can try to be saying, say the depreciation of the ACs up and so on, the depreciation of the furniture, the maintenance of the premises, those particular things, it could be say fixed cost. So based upon general meaning in this particular case, all the costs can be categorized into variable, fixed or semi-variable, okay. But then few changes that I'm trying to tell you. It does not look good when we try to use the word unit, okay. Example, whenever you try to come to ask, okay, to us, sir, what is the fees? We quote fees per student, right? So unit will mean unit of service, okay. Unit will mean unit of service. It could be say divided by number of students. It could be number of kilometers, etc., etc. So ultimately you will try to arrive at selling price per kilometer. So do not use that word unit for the purpose of this particular chapter, because we are not producing and selling anything, okay. So therefore in this case we are only trying to be providing services of something. So therefore, like, if suppose I try to tell you, you go in a hotel, okay, can we say in hotel the charges that you pay are per room, no? Correct, no? So then you try to be using those particular things. So based upon the industry, you try to select what will be the unit of service. So unit does not mean a physical unit, it will mean unit of service. Okay, that is one thing. Second thing in this particular case, don't use the word selling price. It does not look good. I'm asking you all, whenever you all come to us, do you ever ask, sir, what is the selling price? No. The word that you use is, it could be say fees, it could be say charges, okay. Now if it is say a taxi or an auto, can we say there we are interested in what will be the fare? Is that all okay?
Yes, sir.
So we are interested in those particular words. So do not try to use the word unit. Do not try to use the word selling price in this particular case. Instead of that, use these particular words, okay. Once you do that, your question is altogether over. There is nothing for me to be teaching you in this particular chapter. They will give you a question and they will either tell you, find out this or find out this, okay. I will say okay. If they tell me reach till cost per unit, okay, so therefore I'll try to find out total cost. I'll divide by number of units, I'll arrive at cost per unit. If they'll tell me fix up the charges also, then they'll give me the profit. I'll try to add up the profit margin. I'll try to fix up the charges, okay. So do not use the word selling price, do not use the word units, okay. And do remember that every company these days, would be interested in finding out their cost. If their cost is very high, they would like to be taking steps in controlling those particular costs. They would like to compare their cost with the industry cost. That is something that most of the companies try to be doing these particular days. They like to compare their cost with the cost of the other people. So somewhere or the other, it is very much required that you try to be computing your cost, okay. And cost is one of the bases for arriving at the selling price, not the only basis. Example, you all will understand this. When Jio had started, okay, even if their cost was high, they were giving it free for year one, no? They gave Jio services free, no, for 1 year to everybody, right? So in that case, cost might not be only basis in life to be fixing the selling price. Whenever you will reach your CA final level, we'll try to tell you that how businesses these days are running, okay. Cost is one of the things that you require to fix up the prices, okay. Might not be the only thing, because the dynamics of the business are changing so much. New companies come, so therefore we have to try to reduce the price to some particular extent for some years. When we will get the customer share, okay, in that case, then we'll start to be increasing the prices, okay. But one of the reasons we try to be finding out cost, so that if our cost is high, we can try to take some measures to be reducing that cost. And one thing, I'm going bit overboard. Whenever we try to calculate all our costs, then we try to do something called as value analysis. This is a separate topic in CA final, but just because it might interest you, I'm trying to be saying. We try to, all our costs, we try to be thinking, why are we incurring these costs? Why the hell are we incurring these costs? Either we are creating value by incurring these costs, or we are not creating value. Okay, these are called as value added activities, or these are called as non value added activities. Now I'll give you one example of both of them. Value added, in simple words, they create value. Non value added does not add value. Okay, so very simple to say, but let me give you all some example. Value added example, we are teaching you all. Suppose in past we were teaching CA Inter for 700 hours. Okay, in 700 hours we used to wrap up the portion. Forget it, we don't want to do an exhaustive thing. In any case, the students are interested, finish off the portion fast, so therefore we'll finish off your entire portion in 700 hours of CA Inter. Then we thought, no yaar, that's not a correct thing for the students. So therefore what did we do? We in this particular case thought that in this case, let's try to teach exhaustively each and everything for 1200 hours. Okay, I'm asking you all, if we increase the duration from 700 to 1200, our cost will rise, many costs will rise. Not only the faculty, the electricity cost, the books cost, because the content will be bigger. Tell me, does it add value to a student? Yes or no? Yes. So therefore, this is the fees, the money that I pay to my professors is value added. Okay, is value added. But then what is non-value added? Non-value added are those particular costs that do not add value. To give you a small example, earlier, before COVID times, whenever a student used to be coming to the class for taking the admission, we used to give him an admission form, a physical admission form. Okay, they used to be filling in the data. Once they fill in the data, my operator will take that particular form, will fill in the data in our database. Okay, then you all will be asked to give a photograph, and so how the things will be done. Okay, but then after COVID, we started to realize, yeah, this is a wasteful thing, because during the COVID times, we realized one thing, that the handwriting of the students is so pathetic and my operator is so great that ultimately whatever the students will type in their admission form, exactly the same thing will not go inside my database. There are many email IDs which ultimately go wrong because your writing is very good. Okay, the addresses will be going wrong again because your writing is very good and my operator is too great. So then we all thought, why not to try to automate this particular thing? So therefore now we try to take a Google form and we tell the students to fill it up. In that, whatever database will be coming from you all, usually that will be perfect only, and that directly goes inside our data. So therefore, amount of time that is required by us is now less. Number of operators that I require is quite less now. That is whatever we are going to be doing. Okay, so therefore, when you try to accumulate the cost, in real life, you come to know actually, that which costs can be avoided in future, which costs in this case are non-avoidable. So therefore, a company should only try to incur those particular costs in real life which add value. You should always try to avoid those particular costs which do not add value. That is just a general thing that I have told. Might be useful more in final CA, but you should always be knowing that a company can be doing great if it tries to control the cost. You all will understand in today's times, to have a big startup, you will require huge funds. For these huge funds, okay, once you get those particular funds, you're going to be spending. Okay, we are not saying don't spend, beta. Unless and until you spend today, you will never ever get money. Like Byju's, when it started, ultimately it incurred a loss for the first 2.5 years. Okay, it was all loss, but then they knew that it is not spending actually, it is investing. They invested or spent for the first 2 years, and then the revenues had started to come. So somewhere or the other, you require a lot of things to be spending. Example, there is a company called as Cred. You all know Cred? Yes, sir. Okay, one of the best ads I think that Cred had launched way back in 2020 of Rahul Dravid. You will be knowing that, to Mr. Cool. Correct, no? Main gunda hu and so on, vagera. So somewhere or the other, these guys are spending. They did not have single piece of revenue. They did not get single rupee of revenue, but they were spending. So one thing I always try to tell our students that it's not that always cost plus profit is equal to selling price. It's not like that. Okay, selling price these days is fixed by many external forces. Okay, you are entering into a market where there is huge competition. If there is huge competition, then in that particular case, you will have to try in this case to be surviving. You'll have to capture the market. For that, you might have to sell below your cost. But still, we like to find out cost, so that if there is a possibility of reducing the cost, we would like to be doing that. And for that, in real life, something called as value chain is done, value chain analysis. This was made by somebody called as Michael Porter. Have you heard his name ever? Michael Porter? Very famous guy, okay, very famous guy. You will hear about him a lot in CA final, but then he had made this complete chain, okay, whereby he told that how do you create value for a customer, okay. So a company in any case should be knowing the cost, so therefore if there is a possibility of reducing the cost, we all can. Now, stopping my general knowledge, I'm coming back to the questions now. So we are only going to be doing this much, okay, what? We will try to accumulate all our costs, variable cost, fixed cost. If there is some cost that you cannot identify, it is variable or fixed, put them in the third category of semi-variable. Sometimes fixed cost is also called as standing cost, means even if you are not running, then also you will incur these particular costs. Variable cost are many times also called as running cost. Okay, so these are few of the alternate names. If you can try to categorize all the costs, please try to be doing that. Okay, in case you cannot be, then leave it off. Okay, I'm not interested in much of these bifurcations. Given a choice, segregate all the costs into variable and fixed. If you cannot, then try to make a third category. If it is too much of a headache, do not try to do this segregation only. Just put a list of all the costs. They might reduce a mark or so, but then don't try to spend much time on this. Once you try to have a list of all your costs, you total it up, divide by number of units, you'll arrive at cost per unit. If they tell you reach at cost per unit and stop the sum, we will stop up till here only. If they tell you fix up the charges, then mostly those guys will give you the profit margin. You add up the profit margin, you will try to arrive at selling price. Rest I have told you, even if you were in 7th, 8th or 9th standard or even your 10th standard, I could have taught you this particular chapter. So let me start to teach you this entire chapter now. Okay, you all can come over to question number 1. We'll start away with this chapter. There is nothing else. Every other chapter requires huge introduction from my side. This is the only one chapter that I do not require the introduction of any type as such. Okay, let's start. This is question number 1. Please read. A practicing chartered accountant now spends 3.6 per kilometer on taxi fares for his client's works. Okay, he is considering two other alternates: the purchase of a new small car or an old bigger car. The estimated figures are as follows. You have new small car, you have old big car. Purchase price is 1,40,000. Purchase price is 80,000. Sale price after 5 years, that is 76,000, that is 48,000. Now everybody can tell me, as per you all, why this particular data must be given to you to compute your depreciation. So therefore this data will be useful for you for depreciation. Further, repair and servicing per annum. Underline the word per annum. You underline these particular words, please. Taxes and insurance per annum. Petrol consumption per liter. Petrol price per liter. So therefore these are 2 per liter. Further, he estimates that he does 10,000 kilometers annually. Which of the 3 alternates will be the cheapest? Tell me which 3 alternates, beta. Currently, he is using taxi to do his client's work. Okay, so therefore, one option is that you continue to use the taxi only. The second option is you can go ahead and purchase which car? New small car, or you can go ahead and purchase a old bigger car. Okay, so therefore we are trying to be thinking that which out of these particular 3 options is going to be the best for us. Okay, what I am saying now, if you are going to be traveling by taxi, then the cost per kilometer will be 3.6. Let's try to find out the cost in the other 2 cases. Okay, can we say wherever the cost will be less, that will be the best option, no? Okay, so what I'm going to be doing, I'll try to find out cost per kilometer in the remaining two cases, and then in that case, whichever thing is the cheapest, we'll go for that. And part A tells me he's going to be traveling for 10,000 kilometers annually. Okay, now see, we are about to be making this entire statement. This entire statement from now onwards will be called as operating cost statement. So operating cost statement will be made by us. Just one thing you all decide whenever you are going to be making operating cost statement. And what is that particular thing? Everybody will tell me that. You tell me that you want to be making this particular statement for what period. There is no ground rule for it. Some people try to be thinking I'll make it for 1 month. Some people try to be thinking I'll make it for 1 year. Whatever period you all want to be making, you all can. But decide on a certain period, then try to tell me. Now usually I try to be thinking in this particular manner. Whatever costs are given to you more in a common way now, try to be making the statement for that. Example, in this particular question, most of the costs are given to you for what period? Per year. So in this case, let's start to be making the cost in this particular case for 1 year. Okay, now do remember, if you are trying to be making the things for 1 year, no, then each and everything will only be made for 1 year. Whatever that is, whatever means in this case, every cost will be taken for 1 year. Number of kilometers will be taken for 1 year. So everything will be taken for 1 year. You all will understand this. If I take everything for 1 month also, can we say in end cost per kilometer will always come same? No, because then these particular costs will get divided by 12. Can we say even number of kilometers will get divided by 12? So ultimately cost per kilometer will come same. No, so there is no rule for these particular things. Don't even spend more than 1 minute for it. Just try to be thinking something and start it off. I guess in this question, most of the things are given to you in this particular case for per annum. Let's start to be making the things for 1 year. Okay, you all write down please. Operating cost statement for 1 year. Operating cost statement for 1 year. Make this please. Now listen. Now fixed charges or standing charges. Now I don't have a rule as such. Based upon general thinking, if you think a particular cost is fixed, you put that under fixed. Now usually my brain start to be going like this. If any cost is given to you per annum, per month, all those particular costs will be deemed to be fixed cost only. Rest all the costs will be your variable cost. If a cost does not satisfy any of these criteria, then in that case you can try to take that particular thing as semi-variable. Now first thing in this case, I guess depreciation you will be able to get per annum, no? So let's start to be having that particular thing as a first cost over here. So therefore you all write down first, this is depreciation. Compute me depreciation for both the machines. Sorry, for both the cars, please. Everybody got 12,400 and 6,000. Sorry, 12,800 and 6,400. Everybody got that? So 1,40,000 minus 76,000 divided by 5 years. Same thing for the other option also. Okay, let's start to be writing that, please. Now, second part in this particular case, repair and servicing per annum directly is given to you. Taxes and insurance per annum directly is given to you. So therefore, I guess we all can directly copy paste both of them. So therefore, you all can copy please. Repair and servicing, taxes and insurance. Now see, I don't think so that apart from this, there is any other cost in this entire question. I don't think so, because there is one cost that is left, that is petrol cost. But I think this petrol cost should be categorized as which cost, beta? Variable cost. Okay, so you can total up this, please. What's the total? 23,600. The other one? 14,000. Okay. Second. Variable cost. What word I gave you? Your variable cost can also be called as which charges? Running charges, because these are incurred when the business will run. So therefore, running cost or running charges. That's okay. You write down the word running charges. That'll be better. And I guess there is only one, that is petrol over here. Now, you're going to be doing this petrol stuff with me, please. Listen, it's easy only, but you will tell me in part A, they are going to be traveling for how many kilometers? 10,000. 10,000. So we got to be computing petrol cost in reference to that particular thing for 10,000 kilometers. Okay. So what I'm going to be doing, everybody just listen, please. 10,000 kilometers, don't write. Divided by. Tell me, new small car gives an average of how much? 10 kilometers. Can we say when I divide 10,000 kilometers by 10 kilometers per liter, that will give me number of liters of petrol that will be required. Is that all okay? Into rupees 14 per liter. Okay, they are talking of our grandfather's times. Okay, so therefore into rupees 14. Now just wait. I can also try to just write down this particular thing in this manner also. Can we say ultimately it will mean it will be 10,000 kilometers into rupees 1.4 per kilometer. Is that all okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I want to be getting this 1.4 for some reason. That will be your second last chapter. Okay, but I have given one note over here. Okay, that will be useful for you whenever you're going to be doing this chapter. Okay, so I want this 1.4 per kilometer for that. The other one is going to be, you all can tell me now please. So 10,000 into, please tell me what upon what? 14 upon 7. So therefore this will be 14 upon 7. So therefore here I am writing 10,000 into, please speak further, rupees 2 per kilometer. Okay, so therefore this cost will be 14,000. This cost will be 20,000. Please copy down this, please. Exactly in this particular manner, the way that I have done. There is no other variable cost. So I am totaling up that same figure only. Total cost 1 plus 2. 37,600. 34,000.
But why are we not taking the purchase price into the consideration?
Beta, the purchase price will automatically come in form of your depreciation, no? Purchase price will automatically come, no, in form of your depreciation. We are going to be charging this expense 5 times, so automatically the capital cost will be taken into account, no? And if still you want to be doing that, then there is one chapter in financial management called as capital budgeting. Okay, so you got to be using those tools to take it into account. Okay, once that chapter will get finished, you'll come to know how. Okay, but for the purpose of our subject, we will not require that. Okay, now this is your total cost. Divide by number of kilometers. So 10,000, 10,000. Cost per kilometer will be 3.76. Cost per kilometer will be 3.40. Okay, tell me, you had three options, no, I guess. First, you can purchase this. Second, you can be purchasing this. Third, in any case, was a taxi option. Tell me, out of the three options, which seems to be the best choice for us? Old big car. So we are going to be writing conclusion in reference to that. Conclusion, try to write down detailed always in every chapter, in every subject also. So write down. It is better for the chartered accountant. It is better for the chartered accountant to purchase. It is better for the chartered accountant to purchase old big car as cost per kilometer will be least, as cost per kilometer will be least. Done, beta? Now everybody is going to be doing one thing and I will not interfere because that is ditto same now as part A only. If his practice expands and he has to do 19,000 kilometers, what will be his decision? Can we say instead of 10,000 kilometers, there will be 19,000 kilometers? Okay, I think beyond that, every data is going to be remaining same only. Nothing is going to be changing here for us. Okay, you all can tell me few things just for my satisfaction. Okay, will all these things remain same or will change? Same only. So all these things you all can copy actually. Can we say in variable cost, you can write down this word and then you can directly write 19,000 into 1.4, no? And here you can be writing 19,000 into 2 rupees. Is that all okay? Once you do that, you will try to arrive at the new cost. Please divide by 19,000. You will be able to be having this and then try to write down the conclusion exactly in the same way only. Okay. You all can start, give the same heading, operating cost statement for 1 year. I'm showing you all the question. Please start, please finish. This red note is not to be read right now. This we will be reading whenever we come over to that chapter. Okay, please start. Done? Your cost per kilometer comes to how much? 2 point?
6.4 and 2.7.
So conclusion will be purchasing this is the best option. Please ensure that your conclusion is written in a proper way, please. Now see, we are going to be starting away with question number 2 and question number 3. Now these are questions that are made by me just for time pass. The moment you all will read the question, no, you will start to be realizing, sir, they are made by you only, sir. So question number 2 we all are doing right now. Okay, please read. You have taken a plan from Vodafone with the following tariff. Okay, what tariff? Fixed cost per month 400. Variable cost per minute, that is rupees 2. Now there was a time you all almost like you did not have a phone also at that time. When all these plans and all were launched, no, all the cellular companies, they used to be charging the postpaid people for two things. With two things. One, they will be charging you fixed amount per month. Okay. And then based upon your usage, they will be charging you all something more. Today, I think every cost of the mobile has become fixed only. You talk unlimited, there are no charges for that. But there was a time when such things were there. You spoke to your girlfriend or boyfriend on phone for 300 minutes in March and 200 minutes in April. Calculate the bill for the 2 months. Okay, I'm giving you totally half minute. You tell me the charges. You tell me the bill for the 2 months. Everybody got 1,800 rupees. It's a oral question, yaar. So therefore 400 rupees in any case we are going to be paying, that is for sure, for the month of March and for the month of April. But in the month of March we all have spoken for 300 minutes to our boyfriend or girlfriend. Boyfriend word is supposed to be for girls and girlfriend word is supposed to be for boys. Okay, and then just multiply by number of minutes. So in any case you will come across your answer. You all write down, please. You all write down. This is your next question, question number 2. This is just a concept builder question and you will understand from question number 3 why I have put it. Done, beta? Now see. Now no, when you are doing question number 3, you are going to be forgetting that you all have done question number 2. Have you done question number 2? No, you have not done. So that is what I told. You all have not done your question number 2. Okay, when you are doing your question number 3, you forget your question number 2. Do you remember what happened in question number 2? No. Thank you so much. Okay, further. You have taken a plan from Vodafone with the following bill for the month of March and April. In March, your bill came to rupees 1000. April, it came to rupees 800. You had spoken to your girlfriend or boyfriend on phone for 300 minutes in March and 200 minutes in April. Find the tariff of Vodafone, assuming that there is only fixed rental and charges for talking on phone. Solve by equation and otherwise. Now you all will understand, in this question you have to do reversal things. Reversal things means you will have to try to find out the fixed charges and you will have to find out what are the charges for talking on phone. What I am trying to be saying, now the bill amount is given to you. Okay, so what I try to be thinking, let the fixed charges per month be X, let the running charges or let the variable charges per minute be Y. You all understood this? And we'll try to make the equation and come across the answer. Okay, you all tell me what will the answer come as? What will be the final answer? I told you all have bloody not done question number 2. You're falling into the trap again and again. What will be the answer? You don't know. You say you don't know. So that is what I was saying. You all don't know. So let's all know yaar then. Okay, so write down please now. Let the fixed cost per month be rupees X. Let the variable cost per minute be rupees Y. Now, in March, the total amount that was there was how much rupees here? 1000. So therefore, this was the total bill. In April, that was rupees 800. Now tell me, for the month of March, what equation you are going to be making in terms of X and Y? X plus Y is equal to 1000. X plus 300Y. Beta, X is fixed cost per month. So this is also per month only. But Y is variable cost, in this case per minute beta. So therefore you got to be multiplying by number of minutes, no? Okay. Same way this will be X plus 200Y. So subtract this and this will get cancelled. 200 is equal to 100Y. So Y in this particular case will be rupees 2 per minute. Substitute, you will be able to get X as a balancing figure. Okay, so just get X please. So therefore this answer will be rupees 400. Okay. Now, obviously, like, sir, very stupid question, sir. You made question number 2, then you made question number 3. So then, but then let me solve this particular thing by some other way, which I will try to solve by whenever such kind of things come in future in costing till end of your portion, even in CA final. Okay. Now see, instead of having equations like this, I can directly try to be saying in March, your bill was how much rupees? Please speak. 1000. In the month of April, that dropped down to 800. Can we say whatever fixed charges are there in 1000, the same fixed charges are there in the month of March also? So if I'll be subtracting 1000 and 800, I'll be arriving at 200. Can we say this drop in bill of rupees 200 is because of speaking for lesser 100 minutes, no? Therefore, if I divide 200 lesser bill by lesser 100 minutes, I will get rupees 2 per minute directly, no? Particular thing, you can substitute that in any month, you will be able to be getting your fixed cost. Okay, from now onwards, you are not going to be thinking X or Y, you are going to be doing something like this that I am doing right now. You will write down variable cost per minute is equal to, see whether this formula makes sense to you or not. Write down. Does this formula make sense to you? So therefore this will be 1000 minus 800. So therefore 200 is a drop in the bill, and that is because of 300 minus 200, that is equal to 100 minutes. So therefore this will be rupees 2 per minute. Once you do that particular thing, this rupees 2 per minute, you substitute in any data here. So therefore you will be able to arrive at your fixed cost. So therefore, suppose we are substituting in this month. So therefore, in the month of March, the total bill was 1000. 300 minutes we all had spoken into 2 per minute. So therefore, fixed cost will be coming to 400. From now, we are going to be following this particular thing for a long time. Whenever you have to segregate your variable cost and fixed cost, that time you are going to be doing this particular thing. Is this all okay? Okay, but now one thing that I'm going to be saying, see, this sum was the first question of this particular type. That's why I've written most of the things. Otherwise, I can try to tell you, see, you will understand one small thing, that Vodafone does not charge you complete fixed amount, because if this amount was completely fixed, this figure would have been equal to this particular figure, no? The amount is not completely fixed, but I still try to be thinking that amount is completely not variable also. Somebody can be asking why? Why? Because if you take 1000 divided by 300, please do on calci. That comes to how much? 3.33. Then if you do 800 divided by 200, in that particular case, that will not be coming to 3.33. If it was completely variable, then in that particular case, per minute cost should have been same, in both the cases. So therefore, it is not completely a variable cost. It is not completely a fixed cost. So therefore, some part is fixed, some part is variable. Okay. This is simplest way to identify. Although in this particular question, it was given to you that Vodafone is charging you a fixed rental and some charges for talking on phone. Okay. So it was completely given to you. Okay. Or else you can try to be doing whatever I am saying to identify whether a cost is completely fixed or it is completely variable. Okay. Last time I'm speaking, if it was completely fixed, these two bills would have been same. Okay. If it was completely variable, then cost per minute would have been same here. Okay. But then they are not same. So therefore, some part is fixed, some part is variable. You can either make the equations. I'm all okay for that. But now you all have grown up here. Okay. So therefore, then in that case, you can simply try to be doing this. Okay. And try to come across your fixed and variable. Okay. Now see, this particular part is done. Okay.